And imagine the technology that can speak your own language, it speak your dialect, it feels more close, it feels more home. If you build a great product, great technology, and then you're gonna find them. They'll come to you.
Welcome to the Gain podcast. I have with me today Mr. Hongbin Zhuang, the CEO and co-founder of Emotech. How are you?
Very good, very good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Good. I want to ask you, what's your experience so far of the Gain Summit?
Well, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's actually, I also was here last time, and obviously I can see. It's improved. So every time I come to here, I see
grown.
big difference.
Yeah, it has grown a lot. I jumped a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company Emotech for our listeners at home?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the CEO and co-founder of the London AI company called Emotech. So previously, before we started this company, I was a founding team member of one of the largest social network in China called Renmen.com. So reached over 200 million user. And so that's my first part of my career journey. I saw that kind of helping people connect better with each other. And now in Emotech, what we are doing is we helping people to interact better with the technology. Yeah, and then that's why we call it Emotech, because we hope the way that technology interact with people will going to be more human, more emotional, and more natural.
More connected, I imagine, as well.
Exactly.
As the CEO and co-founder of Emotech, your mission is to redefine the relationship between humans and technology. Can you share the inspiration behind Emotech and how the concept of brain-inspired AI drives your vision?
Sure. So after I left my previous company, and I actually went to University College London to have a study in human-computer interaction. So UCL is actually where DeepMind founded over there in our computer science department, and so our initiative on this company was actually also highly relevant to my previous experience, because we feel one of the most important thing people use our product was actually more about sentimental connection with, for example, they connected with their friend, with their lost contact for 10 years or 20 years. When they met them on our social network, they were extremely excited and happy. So we saw this element, and then that's why we started to think about, okay, the future of this technology, the new interface, new interaction, maybe it can be more, also can kind of deliver or try to kind of improve the user experience from this point of view. Yeah, so that's why we started this one.
And I want to ask you, you have a flagship product. It's called Ollie, correct?
Yes.
What is Ollie? Can you tell us about that?
So it's your personal robot, and you, Learning Thought is a bit like, for example, an Amazon Echo or Google Home. This kind of like smart speaker, but is more proactive, because we also include like computer vision. So the robot can see its user and then understand their pattern by learning, and then so that they can kind of like proactively interact with the user, rather than like every time you need to give a query or ask a question and then they talk to you. Yeah. So we feel that that's more natural. Yeah, in that way. But obviously, at some point we realized, doing both AI and hardware is actually too challenging for the startup. You're gonna need to burn a lot of money. And at some point, even although we started actually earlier than, for example, Google Home and etc., before those products got popular. But the big corporates started to kind of like sell even without any margin, even lower. They're kind of like losing money by selling those. So we did a pivot, and that's why we purely focus on software, AI software. And then the experience we got from the first part of our startup journey was that we tried to really kind of find a way that avoiding does compete directly with big corporates. So that's why we did a pivot, and we finally find a way to actually it's more like can be a partnership with a big corporation in the world. We focus more on low resource languages. Yeah, so low resource languages is, for example, any language that you actually cannot find that much digital presence or, or data, let me put it this way, online. And because you to build an AI product, you actually like data is so fundamental. And then nowadays, most of the company, okay, like models are getting bigger and bigger, louder and louder. Um, ChatGPT, Llama, whatever. And then the parameters got like 400 billion or even increasing more and more. So this is definitely not a game for a business for startup because no way you can compete with them. But so we found that actually low resource languages is a very interesting and exciting market because in the world there are actually more than I think roughly like 7,000 languages in total in the world. But
Oh,
if you check Wikipedia, you probably can only find like 332 language that they got Wikipedia. So that's just like a sort of indicator that many languages actually like is really lack of digital presence. And then building model in this way is actually very difficult, no matter for big corporates or for startup, because I mean, when you don't have enough data, how can you train your model? But I mean, our approach is very data efficient, meaning that we actually will find a way that we can try to kind of collect and curate very high quality data so that we don't need that much data, then we can actually train and then get a high model with very good performance. And in this case, so this strategy is more like okay, so if you have to compete an AI product or technology, data, compute, and model, right, algorithm. So if it's a low resource language, then you are at the same level with any company in the world because not much data. So you don't have that much data, so you don't need that much compute resource. So anyhow, in this case, we only need to compete. I mean, you have to the algorithm and then model and then product side. So we need us to kind of like all like the same level with other company. But at the same time, I believe like low resource language is not the main focus of the big corporates, right? So I mean, in nowadays, like most of the large language model, like 60% more than that is actually trained on English data. Yeah, so this time we're actually quite excited to see, for example, Sadaya just announced the alarm. So this is really, I believe that's what we need. I mean, as I mentioned, our company is really focused on improve the interaction between technology and people. And imagine the technology that can speak your own language, it speak your dialect, it feels more close, it feels more home, right? So I think that's our motivation. And then yeah, so far I've been doing great on this one.
I imagine it connects people more closely hearing that dialect.
Yes, because myself, I speak dialect, and I mean, obviously, I also speak English and also speak like formal Mandarin, whatever. But I mean, my mother tongue is
Yeah,
dialect.
yeah, you
Yeah,
feel more comfortable hearing it, and
exactly.
you're more as opposed to opening up. I want to ask you. You spoke about data, you spoke about language, but were there any other challenges within creating Ollie to strengthen emotional connection, emotional intelligence between humans and robots? Did you face any challenges in that?
Um, well, so for this one, I think the our product actually did it very well because I think like that's a very good question because like regarding the emotion bonding, you need to kind of find a very good balance. So for example, like there's a one issue was this uncanny valley. So if you try to kind of like build a interface, no matter hardware or software, like very close to a real human being, at some point if it's not like very like human realistic, at some point there's a gap like it's gonna feel creepy. So but at that time when we were building Nolly, I mean at the moment the technology was not ready yet. So for example like the AI voice, I mean at the moment it's not really kind of human realistic, and then for example like the 3D generated animation was not ready yet. So we actually find a way to kind of make it a very more like objective way. And also, for example, we have those LED patterns, so that kind of like show different type of status and then interaction with it. So people like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Emotech has been recognized for its innovation, winning 4 CES Innovation Awards. It's wonderful. What were some of the key innovations behind Ollie that made it stand out in such a competitive tech environment?
Well, I think from the product point of view, um, I mean, obviously we spend a lot of effort on it, but um, so on the product side, I think is at what I just explained. So
Mhm.
we kind of like find a way to kind of design the interface, really kind of based on the current technology status. But regarding like the technology, the very fundamentally is also kind of this natural interaction. So you can interact with the system via voice, which is also what we are like focusing on now. So that's the like our most basic and fundamental technology that we will have. For example, the voice input and voice output. So like just like we two
Mm.
talking here, and we understand each other. We can kind of recognize very precisely like each other talking, and then also um, in real time. So the latency was also very low. So yeah, I mean at the moment the Arabic dialect technology actually was like built based on like I mean like so many years like from the early days until now. So we've done a lot of research and development on this one to make it really kind of close. Well, I mean like the experience is very very fast. So it's like what we're talking now. Probably like 1 second latency or whatever. So that's actually massive work to kind of like improve the whole pipeline from the dialectal speech to text, and then the large language model, and back to the text to speech, so the AI voice.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you can understand dialectal Arabic and also speak dialectal Arabic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about investment. I kind of want to get your advice on this. You've successfully raised $10 million in funding early on for Emotech. What advice would you give to fellow AI entrepreneurs looking to secure investment, especially in a field as rapidly evolving as AI?
Well, I think technology's been like developing very rapidly.
Mm.
So I think if only one advice, I would say really just focus more on the product, focus more on the product market fit, no matter what kind of innovation or technology. I mean, if it doesn't provide value, it doesn't solve a problem for the user, it wouldn't work at all. And then
Mhm.
I believe, I mean, there are many fantastic VCs in the world. They understand that.
Yeah.
So it's actually, you don't, I think you're going to, if you build a great product, great technology, and then you're gonna find them. They'll come to you. So you're gonna get connected, and then yeah, you can find a synergy. Yeah,
Yeah.
but not rather than kind of just like try to pitch to everyone. Someone understands, someone don't. But I think like if you really have a great product, I mean, it just like come along with
Yeah.
that.
I want to keep in mind your time. I want to respect your time. So I want to look to the future. When we're talking about AI in the future, obviously you're a leader in AI innovation. What are your predictions for the future of AI in terms of personal technology?
Wow, that's a
I mean, where
that's
do
a
you see it evolving to in the next few
That's
years?
a pretty big topic. I think like
Yeah.
it's always very hard to kind of do any prediction, and I don't think
Mhm.
I can put it. I mean, like the in general, like the long like the direction. I think like people are kind of like seeing that. For example, okay, it's gonna be smarter and smarter. But if you wanna predict, for example, how long, is I don't think anyone. Let's say I mean a few years ago say okay, I predict there will be a large language
It would
model
have been
happen. I
difficult.
don't think,
Yeah.
yeah, so that would happen. But I think um, going back to, for example, like more personalized technology, I think like this is what we've been doing all the time. So um, back to the name of our company. So it's about like how people interact with the technology. So obviously, everyone want to know when I get the technology that might serve as a companion and that you can talk to it very naturally
Mhm.
um, in your language, in your dialect, for example, and it also kind of understand you. And obviously, privacy is also quite important. So when I believe like model gonna get in smaller and smaller,
Mhm.
and at some point, I believe it wouldn't be necessary to, for example, like just upload all the data to the cloud or whatever. Gonna be more and more gonna be happen on the edge.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then also there will be, I believe, there will be multiple agents. It's not just like one foundation. Definitely, it's not just one or few foundation model. There will be kind of like group of different AI agents that just for example, like one can do the interview or one can help you to schedule your calendar, whatever. And
Yeah.
this type of model is actually very small, can be very small. even can be done on CPU. Not necessarily to have that many GPUs. Yeah,
So it looks like it's a bright future ahead for Emotech.
yeah.
Yeah, let's hope so. That's wonderful to hear. Those are all my questions. Is there
Okay.
anything else you'd like to add to the podcast?
I think we're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Thank you
great.
very much.
No, thank you for your I want to keep respect to your time. This is what's great about the GAIN Summit. There's always things happening. There's always meetings. There's always sessions. So you have to jump to a meeting right now, and we'll
Yes,
see.
yes, because I have
It'll
the
be-
guest been like
Yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for me. So
It'll be great though. It'll be great to
Yeah,
see
but I
the results
definitely
of
want to
it.
continue the conversation
Of
later.
course, it'll
for
be
sure.
my
Yeah,
pleasure. Thank you so much.
you very
This has
much.
been the GAIN podcast with Mr. Hongbin, the CEO and co-founder of Emotech. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.